There's been an interesting debate about the real estate sector in Uganda, with pundits and ordinary people alike trying to digest and break down the cons and pros of investing in this sector vis-a-vis putting money in other forms of investment. And here they're talking about treasury bills and bonds, among others. Now, in this segment, we're trying to find out some of the values, some of the values that you need to keep at the back of your mind if to make a decision and put money in the real estate sector.
We are seeing a lot of activity in the real estate sector across all the portfolios of real estate. We are seeing investment going a lot in terms of residential property development, commercial property development, retail, and industrial. We are seeing that so many investors are coming in looking for land for setting up factories and warehouses, which is a good sign of economic growth. We are seeing developments all over the country in terms of residential real estate, and the demand is there. Definitely all development is backed by the urgent and the huge need for housing. And we are also seeing the mushrooming retail and commercial spaces, even outside the main CBD where it used to be. We are now seeing many mini malls mushrooming in the neighborhoods. We are seeing so many such malls coming up in 20 kilometers, 30 kilometers away from the city center, which shows you that there is economic activity going on, and it's definitely having an impact on the kind of real estate that we are developing right now on the market. So I'm very positive. It looks good right now across all the portfolios of real estate, and we are seeing more investment coming in, even from abroad, across all the lines of real estate. When you look from the high-end market in Kololo, Naguru, Bukoto, we are seeing a lot of development going on for residential and commercial properties. Same is applied to areas further from the CBD, even up to 50 kilometers, development is still going on for both commercial, retail, and residential properties. There are a number of factors driving the demand for real estate development right now, but majorly urbanization. We are seeing so many peripheral areas that are further from the CBD that are urbanizing at a very fast rate, to the extent that 50 kilometers from the CBD, we are seeing developments coming up. It's where Ugandans are settling. So the CBD is becoming more central for work, but then in terms of stay and residential, people are moving away 10, 20, 30, 50 kilometers away from the city. So definitely that has created secondary cities that are supporting Kampala in terms of taking up people for residential. Now, wherever there's a residential community created, definitely there's need for commercial, because they need services to be brought closer to them. That's how now we are seeing commercial and retail properties going nearer to where the people are staying. So the residential need for the people has now created also the need for commercial and retail spaces to get closer to them. And that's a very good trajectory to see that we are seeing secondary cities now being created, secondary settlements being created, and that eases the pressure on the CBD. But even in the CBD itself, we are seeing so many, especially the expatriates and people who are investing for recreation, short-term and long-term home away from homes, furnished apartments, is now becoming the trend in the CBD, because then it can accommodate people who are here for short-term businesses, conferences, and gigs. So we are seeing that the CBD is accommodating more furnished units because people are coming in to do short-term contracts and then they leave. Yet the further away areas from the CBD are allowing people to stay for longer, taking up longer leases, rentals, and even homes. And that has led to also saying the investors who are investing in commercial and retail taking their mini malls closer to where the people are staying rather than the CBD. So the demand for real estate, the trends, the urbanization has led to this rapid increment in real estate activity. The size of capital inflow is good in the real estate sector. It's quite huge. We are seeing that as investors are coming in first to look for industrial land and manufacturing, they later go on to develop properties that are mixed use, that can take both commercial, residential, and even in the industrial. That's why you see like areas like Namave and the Kayunga Road and all those industrial roads have started to receive big commercial developments and retail developments, because it's following the earlier need that was for only industrialization. So the capital inflow is good, but also the Ugandans are investing more in the real estate. They are doing the apartment projects and the condominiums have come up. Now, for the foreign investment, their main focus now is on condominium developments. It's what they are doing a lot because the market for it is there, but also they are able to market to their markets originally where they come from, for such people to come and buy condominiums here because they have good rental returns, they have good a good legal regime, but they're also located in the affluent neighborhoods of Kampala. So for the most cash flow and capital coming in from abroad, it's majorly concentrated in condominium developments. And there are reasons to support that because it's a more secure way of an investor knowing that their money shall be pulled back much faster than doing a rental property. So they end up investing more in the condominiums because they know that in 3 to 5 years, all the condominiums will be sold and their capital will be brought back with a profit, and then they are able to go to the next project and the next project and the next project. So we are seeing new ones coming on the market because the earlier international investors who came have now opened up the eyes of the others to say Uganda has a market that is in need of condominiums. The market is there, the demand is there, the money is there, so they are doing more condominium projects. So yes, the cash flow is good. You can go to Kololo and find a 48-unit apartment that is fully sold out off plan. That shows you that the investors have understood how to market, what to develop for the Ugandan who is able to purchase. Now, it's not only Ugandans purchasing, but we're also seeing the internationals staying here purchasing those units. Because then they know that even if they won't stay in them, they can furnish them and be getting cash flows coming in on their units. And whenever they want to sell, the return will be good. So it's a balance for both money coming in terms of developing the units, but also money coming in terms of people purchasing. There's definitely a challenge with the locals buying into these units. And the first challenge is on sensitization for condominium living. Many of the locals, unlike the internationals coming in, did not understand the concept of condominium and community living. Therefore, the uptake for condominiums for locals is still low. And it's a going concern for developers to educate the locals on why it's important and the merits of buying into a condominium community and a gated community. But we are seeing that purchases are coming in for locals who are buying into these units. And most of them are buying 1 and 2 bedroom apartments to furnish and tap onto the internationals that are coming in to rent. So they are starting to appreciate the value. But also on the other end, for the developers or the suppliers of the condominiums, the sensitization is going on by ministry and us, the real estate players, to tell the developers you need to develop for the client, not for yourself. You need to listen to what a client is looking for in a condominium. And you're seeing that many of the condos developed now in the modern day, they took into consideration things like a DSQ, semi-detached servant quarter, so to allow big balconies, to allow for our culture to still thrive in a condominium living, because it was the concern for many of the locals, the size of the rooms, the lack of spacious balconies, and then a house help living in my space. But we are seeing that many developers are now considerate of the local need of a Ugandan staying in these units. So the design has changed to accommodate a house help, to accommodate hang lines, to accommodate when you want to cook the local way. So there's a whole shift in terms of garbage management on the 10th floor, on the 7th floor. We are seeing that they are putting garbage ducts all the way down. So you see that design has changed in the last 3 to 1 year to accommodate a culture shift. What's keeping the prices high is the cost of land in the urban areas and the cost of construction, definitely. And of course, since it's left to private ownership, they have to make money, they have to make profit off their investment. All right. So the cost of land is not cheap in terms of the modern areas that people want to stay. So as the developer is costing their unit, they factor in the cost of land, the cost of development, the cost of amenities, the cost of the whole process, and then the profit. Now, if we could have access to more affordable land and more affordable ways of construction, and of course not forgetting the cost of money and the taxes, all these added up end up putting a product on market that is very high in terms of price for a local person to purchase. So we hope that the mortgage refinancing bill will help to cover these gaps and make money more accessible to both the developers and the consumers of real estate. We need amenities, we need services to be brought closer. If we could have up to 100 kilometers from the CBD, all roads are done, drainage is done, electricity and power and waste management facilities are all in those areas, then the cost of construction, the cost of the projects would go down. But the scenario now is that a developer, after the main cost of the project, they have to deal with waste management, with power, with roads. All that cost ends up being borne by the consumer.